Hello and welcome to another episode of As Told by Gonzo. Thank you so much for returning. It's been a while. Um, a lot's been going on. I've done a few short films, and I finally got my podcast up and running again. It's called Gonzo and Friends. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. So today I'm going to be continuing my collection. I'm going to go through my Arrow releases collection. If you don't know what Arrow is, they're like I think they're a UK based company that puts out a lot of like cult movies, kind of like Criterion, but they do Arrow does a lot of like horror. They're pretty well known for horror movies, but they do release like kind of a big criteria of stuff, but they usually focus on horror. I've done one of these back years ago. I did an Arrow collection overview. So go check that video out if you want to compare. But it definitely has changed. So I'm just gonna make this pretty quick. I have a lot, and I don't really want to ramble. So I'm just gonna take like a few seconds for each one. Some of these are Region B locked. Either because at the time I just really wanted to get the edition. I do have a region free Blu ray player, so I can play movies from other countries. So it plays regions 1, 2, and 3, and A, B, and C. So let's get started. First one up is I never thought this would get an Arrow release, but it's John Hughes' Weird Science. This comes with a lot of cool cuts, like a TV cut, an original theatrical cut, and I think there's an extended version cut too. So there's like 3 different cuts of this movie. So this is a pretty cool release. Next one up is Region B locked. It has not gotten an American release. That is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This is a three disc set. Comes with a lot of bonus features, some cards, 100-page booklet. This is Region B locked, but I needed to get this edition, and I'm glad I did because it's out of print. A little harder to find, and it's never gone to U.S. release, so I'm glad I bought it. Next one up is House, Last House on the Left. It's Wes Craven's one of his first movies, one of his bigger movies. He did this before, I believe he did this before Nightmare on Elm Street. This is actually the Canadian release. There's really no difference between this and the American release. Just I got it cheaper from Canada. So it's a pretty cool limited edition set. Next one up is a new release, and it's a RoboCop. I really love this movie. It comes with the director's cut and and the theatrical cut. The U.S. does have a version of this on Blu-ray that I believe is just the director's cut. But this comes with like a bunch of special features and a new. I believe this has a new 4K. Yeah, it's a 4K transfer from the original camera negative, so it looks really fucking good. But this is pretty cool. It comes with a poster and a booklet, so that's all of the special limited editions I have. So these are all just regular editions. They're still good in their own way, but they're not so like limited and hard to find. So the first one up is Eaten Alive by Tobe Hooper, who also directed Texas Chainsaw and Chainsaw 2. I have a few of his other movies in here that I will note. This movie is disgusting and gross, and you feel kind of dirty after you watch it. But it's pretty good. I enjoy it. Got City of the Living Dead. We got Bride of Reanimator. This is a sequel to Reanimator. This is Region B locked, but this does have a U.S. release. We got Vamp, a very colorful movie. We got also Region B locked edition of Donnie Darko. This is the only movie I think Richard Kelly has ever done that's actually really good, and it's I've liked it more over the years. The first time I watched this, I was like 13 or 14 and still in high school. I just started high school. And I really didn't get why everybody liked this movie, but it's grown on me and it's become one of my favorite movies. I do enjoy the theatrical cut a lot better, but the director's cut does explain more, so it's easier to follow. Your vice is a locked room and only I have the key. Have not seen that. We have Wolf Guy, Evil Ed, Um, Maniac Cop, which has what's his freaking name? Bruce Campbell. Holy shit. Really good B movie. I recently rewatched this, and I'm sorry, it doesn't hold up. It's really good, but it just doesn't hold up. The ending just, it's kind of bland for me. And that's The Burbs, a young, early Tom Hanks performance. We got some Dine In and Blood Rage, The Slayer. I have this on I have this on VHS. Return of the Killer Tomatoes. The Mutilator. Pretty good. This one actually stuck with me. The music in this is really good. I have not seen Basket Case 2 or 3. Well, I just gave away the title. But that is the original Basket Case. I have the first edition of this when it came out on Blu-ray, but this is a better version. Because I believe this is, yeah, it's a 4K transfer and it has a bunch of cool special features on it. But Basket Case, really good, really odd movie. But it's creepy, but really good. Really good science fiction movie, Contamination. This movie's awful, but it's really good. It's like a good B kind of science fiction-y movie. This movie's fucking off the wall. Brain Damage. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is the FYE exclusive slipcover. If you don't know what FYE is, For Your Entertainment, it's like a movie music store that kind of went out of business, but there's a select few stores still around. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one of my favorite movies. It's very, very good. Another John Hughes movie I never thought would get an Arrow release, and that's 16 Candles. This is the UK edition. I didn't know this was going to be released in the US, so when I saw that it went out on pre-order when it first came out, I quickly bought it because this is actually my favorite John Hughes movie. Breakfast Club is a close second. But 16 Candles is phenomenal. And again, like Weird Science, this has like 3 different cuts, has a lot of special features. It's just a really, really, really cool release. We got Life Force, another Tobe Hooper film. We got David Cronenberg's early work. That's also a UK release, which has not been released in the US, I don't think. The Audition. One of the scariest and cringeworthy movies I've ever seen. This is a UK release, but it just got a US release as well. This used to be out of print for a while, The Stuff, but it recently came back into print. But this edition has the book, so I'm not sure if that's a rarity. And I believe this was the first pressing. This isn't the second re-release. We got Microwave Massacre. And again, I haven't seen all of these, but I've seen a lot of them. We got Dead End Driving. I'm going to leave that for last. What Have You Done to Solange? Have not seen this. It's been on my shelf for a while. We got Tobe Hooper's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Sorry. This has various releases in the U.S., and I know Shout Factory, which I own that edition, has a 2-disc edition of this movie. But this has a 4K restoration transfer, and the U.S. release only has a 2K, and this slightly looks better. But it is Region B locked, so if you're trying to get this, you're going to need a Region Free Blu-ray player. But it's well worth it to own, and if you're debating whether to get the U.S. release from Shout Factory or this version, I highly recommend this version. Horror Express, Dr. Jekyll, and Miss Osborne. Spotlight on a Murder. Strange movie. Zoology. I'm not sure if this ever got a clear case or it's just the Blu-ray case, but this is a really strange movie. It's a coming of age. Reminds me a lot of like Ginger Snaps, and that kind of like turning into an animal kind of thing. So Zoology, I believe that's on Hulu. Last but not least, a movie from Richard Linklater that I just picked up a couple weeks ago. And something I've been wanting to see. It's never gone a U.S. Blu-ray release, and it's only gone a DVD release, and that's Waking Life. This is a very, I think they call it rotoscoping. It's just a very cartoony movie. It reminds me of Scanner Darkly, which is also from Richard Linklater. I've been really interested to watch this. People say I should be on some kind of substance while I watch this, which is not going to happen. Um, but yeah, I've been wanting to watch this for a while, and I'm glad I picked it up a few months ago. It was on sale on eBay, so I decided to pick it up. It's a movie I've been wanting to watch for a very long time, and I really enjoy Richard Linklater. My favorite movie is Dazed and Confused from him. Um, I do get, you know, a lot of the hype behind Boyhood. I think it's one of his better movies, but it's definitely not his best movie. I still think Dazed and Confused is his best movie, and it's something I enjoy. And there you go, guys. That is my Arrow release collection. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to go through any of these movies or do an in-depth review on any of them, I will go ahead and do that. Just leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.